Just got off a call and thought about making a quick video on this topic because I'm getting it so often recently. And that's this whole question of how do I fundraise? And I'm getting it not just from businesses, but I'm getting it from a lot of nonprofits and people who just have projects that they want to get started on. So, a couple of things. If you have an idea that you haven't vetted yet, but you're wanting to vet it and you don't necessarily want to make the capital commitments to starting a nonprofit or starting a business, let's just say you want to experiment and see how it resonates. Do a fiscal sponsorship if it is a charitable project or if it's some type of social good project. What is that? There's a bunch of resources on my site, my blog, so check it out if you haven't, and I will forgive you for having not checked it out if you haven't. But basically, you have money that's donated to the nonprofit partner that you would set up via some type of fiscal sponsorship agreement. Then that money ends up getting to you and you spend it on your project as it relates to social good. There's some other contingencies there. It's got some things there, but that's a possibility for anybody that's interested in raising funds for an idea, but they don't necessarily want to commit to a structure yet. If you have a nonprofit, it is not enough, of course, to just have a nonprofit. It's not enough even to do good. It's not enough even now to have that hungry dog or child on the video screen with Sarah McLachlan playing in the background. You have to understand your impact. You have to understand your impact. Not just your purpose, not just your mission, not just your vision, but your impact. And you have to be able to communicate that impact in a way that shows me my value add. How do I know that my money that I could spend on a number of different things and give to a number of different people, how do I know that you're going to be able to have the impact that you've promised me? You can show that visually, you can communicate that, you can do videos, but way too many nonprofits rest on their laurels of just being a nonprofit and don't really, one, understand their mission and communicate in a way that shows me how I can change the world just by supporting you, but then two, they can't communicate the impact that they're actually having on the world. How are they moving the needle? What does the needle look like when it gets to whatever they're trying to get to? And why does that impact me? What's in it for me? Because ultimately, in addition to wanting to do things for other people, I want to know that I'm getting something out of it too. Even if it's just feeling really good about the donation that I made. And then businesses, how do I fundraise? So again, you have to be really rooted in that purpose. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What does success look like for you? Bring me on that journey and have me envision what it is that you can accomplish with the work that you're doing. Then be able to relate that back to metrics, to the business of it. Be able to have the dollars and cents. By making my investment, what's the return on that investment? Not every investor and not every person who gives and not every person who's going to buy what you have is expecting you necessarily have the margins of an Amazon, but I still should know by virtue of buying your product, how am I again moving that needle? How far am I moving that needle? By having my friends and recruiting other people to purchase from you, how are we moving that needle even further? And then if you're going for investors, how am I moving that needle as an investor? How can you show me that by giving you this money, I'm able to have the impact that you're trying to have? Way too many businesses also rest on the laurels of doing good, and they can't relate that back to the dollars and cents and the impact that they're actually going to be able to have. As an aside, impact is not products sold, it's not number of t-shirts given out. When I say impact, I'm talking about quality of life. I'm talking about how is it that you're changing an ecosystem, an infrastructure, a superstructure, etc. So really and truly making an impact, a change outside of just the outputs that you may necessarily have. Something else a lot of social entrepreneurs and businesses don't know, there are tons of different types of investments. There are flexible pay, there are progress for payment, there are grants, donations you can get from foundations, from governments, there's stipends, there's patient capital loans, all kinds of different things. This is another thing that I talk about on my blog, Notations on Nonprofit. So check it out. There's a whole list of, I think it's like 12 different vehicles for investing in a conscious business that most people don't even know about, all of which are options. Crowdfunding is another one that many people don't avail themselves of. So I say all this to say, how do I fundraise? Really get invested in figuring out what it is that you're doing. Be passionate about it, be able to communicate that, and then educate yourself on the vehicles that are out there that you can avail yourselves of for doing that work. If you just put the stuff out there and expect people to trickle in via Facebook and Instagram, it's not gonna happen. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, like I said, check out my blog, Notations on Nonprofits. I have those 12 or so vehicles for social impact businesses or socially conscious businesses. And I also have some resources on fiscal sponsorship for any nonprofit that's interested, or not nonprofit, for any project that's interested, as well as some resources for nonprofits on measuring their impact.